If you think men fall in love by accident, think again. There are hidden triggers that awaken a man's soul. And when you activate them, his affection becomes unstoppable. Many women over 50 wonder if real deep love is still possible. The truth is, yes, it is. But it doesn't come from chasing, begging, or pretending. It comes from understanding the deeper psychology of masculine affection. Today, I'm going to show you 5 powerful things that ignite a man's heart and trigger his deepest loyalty, respect, and love. When you truly understand a man's deepest nature, you realize something profound. Men are driven by purpose. This is not a passing desire or an occasional pursuit. It's an intrinsic part of who they are. At their core, they want to feel that they are moving toward something significant, something that demands their focus, their energy, and their commitment. This purpose, whatever it might be, whether it's building a career, creating something meaningful, or protecting and providing for those they love, shapes their sense of self and defines their worth. Men need to know that their efforts have meaning, that their struggle is not in vain. And when a woman sees that, when she truly understands the magnitude of a man's purpose, something shifts in the dynamic between them. She doesn't just become another person in his life, she becomes a part of that purpose. Imagine being in a relationship where you're not only there as a companion, but also as someone who recognizes the deep drive a man has, someone who acknowledges that there's more to him than meets the eye. This isn't about romanticizing his efforts or pretending that everything he does is for you, though at times it might feel like that. It's about respecting his mission, his goals, and his place in the world. When a woman recognizes this, she's not just supporting him. She's validating him in a way that few other things can. She sees him for who he truly is. A man with ambition, a man with purpose. And this respect it's active. She encourages him not by forcing him to fit into a mold, but by empowering him to pursue that which is uniquely his. She doesn't demand his attention or time all the time. Rather, she understands that sometimes he needs to be consumed by his mission. It's the woman who asks, how can I help you get there? Or, I see the effort you're putting in, and I respect that. She doesn't seek to diminish his fire, to put out the flame of his ambition because she feels neglected. Instead, she stokes it, understanding that the man she loves is a force unto himself, one that must be nurtured, not controlled. This is a subtle but powerful trigger. When a man feels seen in this way, when he realizes that the woman in his life not only accepts his drive, but actively supports it, his affection for her deepens. It's not just about physical attraction or emotional chemistry. It's about a connection that transcends the superficial. It's about a partnership in which each person respects the unique role the other plays in their journey. This respect or a man's purpose also speaks to a much deeper understanding of what love really is. It's not about trying to change him to fit your needs or your vision of what he should be. It's about recognizing his uniqueness, his value, and his journey. When you respect a man's purpose, you give him the space to grow. You allow him to rise to the occasion, to become the best version of himself. Not because you demand it, but because you've created an environment in which his natural tendencies and drives can flourish. A man who feels that kind of respect doesn't just see you as a partner. He sees you as an integral part of his journey. This understanding also prevents a woman from falling into the trap of needing constant validation or attention. When you respect a man's purpose, you realize that his commitment to his mission doesn't negate his love for you. In fact, it often strengthens it. He knows you're there, cheering him on, allowing him to pursue what matters most to him without the constant fear that you will feel abandoned. This creates a sense of security in the relationship, an unspoken trust that builds a foundation for deep affection. Men, in general, have a natural desire to protect, to care for, and to provide. When they know that the woman in their life sees them for who they truly are, someone on a mission, they feel seen, respected, and appreciated in a way that no amount of superficial gestures can match. It's not about praise for every little thing he does. It's about recognizing the magnitude of his efforts and showing him that you understand on a fundamental level what drives him. That level of respect, deep and genuine, creates. It's not a bond based on neediness or dependency, but on mutual understanding and support. This is the kind of connection that doesn't fade with time. It deepens. It matures into something that both partners rely on. A man will always remember the woman who respected his journey, the woman who never tried to diminish his fire, but rather helped it burn brighter. This kind of respect for a man's purpose isn't just about saying the right things or offering words of encouragement. It's about embodying a mindset that honors the complexity of his inner world. It's about understanding that his purpose is something sacred to him. When you show him that you recognize and respect this, you trigger a deeper affection than any superficial gesture ever could. You become someone he can't let go of, not because of your looks, your charm, or your manipulation, but because you represent something profound in his life. Someone who believes in him, who believes in his potential, and who honors the journey he is on. That respect isn't just a passing compliment, it's a way of being. And when a man feels respected in this way, something profound happens in his heart. He doesn't just feel loved, he feels understood. And when he feels understood, his love for you will go deeper, stronger, and more committed than you could ever imagine. One of the most powerful things a woman can do for a man is to stop trying to mother him. It's a dynamic that many women inadvertently fall into, often with the best of intentions, taking on the role of the caretaker, the fixer, the guide. But when a woman mothers a man, even unintentionally, she diminishes his sense of independence, his power, and his masculinity. It's an instinctive desire to nurture, yes, but the subtle implications are profound. A man's need to feel respected as a man, as someone capable and competent, is not just a preference. It's a deep psychological need that is tied to his sense of identity. The essence of masculinity is rooted in a man's ability to stand on his own 2 feet, to be able to face challenges and take charge of his life. When a woman takes on a motherly role, she often places herself in a position of authority over him, one that he subconsciously rejects. The maternal energy she brings can feel smothering to him, and he may begin to feel as if his own masculinity is being invalidated. This doesn't mean that a man doesn't need support, care, or love from a partner, but there is a massive difference between being a supportive partner and becoming a caregiver who constantly feels the need to fix him. When you respect a man's masculinity, you give him space to be who he is without imposing your own expectations or judgment upon him. This respect comes from trusting that he has the capacity to handle his own life. You don't swoop in to solve his problems before he has even had a chance to address them. You don't step in to help him unless he asks. And you certainly don't criticize or belittle his choices. Instead, you encourage him to find his own solutions, to wrestle with his own challenges, and to step into his strength. Men need the freedom to fail, to make mistakes, and to grow through them. The process of struggling, of facing adversity and overcoming it, is a core aspect of masculinity. When a woman tries to protect him from those struggles, or constantly points out where he might be doing something wrong, it sends a message to him that he is incapable, that he needs someone to take care of him. And this is one of the quickest ways to erode a man's self-respect and affection for you. Men are naturally wired to protect, to provide, and to be the pillars of strength for those they love. When they feel that their strength is being questioned or undermined, it creates a silent tension. Respecting a man's masculinity means acknowledging that he has the power to lead and make decisions for himself, even if those decisions lead to mistakes. A woman who allows a man to make mistakes and supports him through them, rather than criticizing or trying to control his every move, becomes a woman he can truly depend on. She doesn't take on the role of his caretaker or his teacher. Instead, she becomes his equal, someone who sees him as he is, understands his inherent worth, and appreciates the complexities of his masculinity. It also means not stepping into the role of the emotional caretaker. Yes, men experience deep emotional struggles just as women do, but they process these feelings differently. They often need space to deal with their emotions, and they need partners who understand that they aren't always going to share their struggles right away. Women, by nature, may have a tendency to want to help or fix things emotionally, but this isn't always what a man needs. He needs someone who respects his emotional independence, the understanding that he is capable of handling his inner world. A woman who respects this doesn't force him to open up before he's ready. She doesn't try to help him by pushing him to express his feelings on her timeline. Instead, she creates a space where he feels safe to be vulnerable when he chooses to be. And she does so without judgment. This respect for his masculinity also means not trying to push him into a mold of what you think he should be. Often, in relationships, women may have an image of the perfect man in their minds, one who meets certain standards, who behaves in specific ways. While it's natural to have preferences, trying to mold a man into something he's not can feel like an attack on his masculinity. It's one thing to encourage growth, to inspire him to be better, but it's another to demand that he change his very nature to suit your ideal. When you respect a man's masculinity, you understand that his character, his values, and his strengths are what make him unique. You appreciate him for who he is at his core, not for who you wish he could be. Respecting a man's masculinity is also about understanding that men, like women, are individuals with their own emotions, boundaries, and desires. They need a partner who is supportive, not controlling. Someone who inspires them, not out of fear of rejection or neediness, but out of mutual respect and admiration. A man who feels constantly scrutinized or who is made to feel less than because of his mistakes or flaws will begin to distance himself emotionally, even if he still cares for you. This doesn't mean you should avoid challenging him or holding him accountable. Rather, it means doing so in a way that honors his dignity and his ability to grow. In relationships, it's easy for women to become overly involved in their partner's lives, thinking that they are helping him by offering advice or directing him in the right direction. However, true respect for a man's masculinity means stepping back and allowing him the space to be his own man. It means not micromanaging his decisions or trying to control his actions. Instead, it's about providing a healthy, respectful space where he can navigate his own challenges and where he knows that you trust his judgment and his ability to rise to the occasion. This type of respect is incredibly attractive to men. When a man feels that a woman sees him as strong and capable, that she admires his masculinity, and that she allows him to be himself, he is drawn to her on a deep emotional level. He feels empowered, not diminished. He feels respected, not infantilized. He feels like a partner in the true sense of the word, someone who is equal to her and not someone who needs to be fixed or cared for. And that respect, offered in the right way, becomes a foundation upon which a lasting, fulfilling relationship can thrive. In short, to truly connect with a man, you must understand that his masculinity is not something to be altered, controlled, or improved. It is something to be respected, nurtured, and allowed to flourish. When you let him be who he is, with all of his strengths, flaws, and complexities, you offer him the gift of unconditional acceptance. And in return, he will offer you his deepest, most sincere affection and loyalty. Because he knows that you see him for who he truly is, not for the version you wish him to be. One of the most powerful things a woman can do in her relationship with a man is to speak truth without drama. It sounds simple, but it's one of the most profound ways to build deep emotional intimacy. And men, particularly as they mature, value honesty above almost everything else. They don't just want to hear what sounds good or what will appease them in the moment. They want the truth spoken clearly without manipulation or unnecessary emotion. Drama, often rooted in emotional turbulence or exaggerated reactions, can create confusion and tension in a relationship. But when a woman speaks the truth in a direct, calm, and respectful way, it opens the door for genuine connection and understanding. Men appreciate clarity. They value being told what's going on, what someone feels, and what their needs are, without the back and forth of emotional games or passive-aggressive behavior. This doesn't mean that difficult conversations should be avoided or that emotions should be ignored. On the contrary, it means embracing the courage to be honest and transparent, no matter how challenging or uncomfortable it might feel in the moment. But when you communicate from a place of emotional control, without the layers of unnecessary drama, you convey a sense of maturity and emotional stability that is deeply attractive to a man. When a woman speaks the truth without drama, she doesn't use guilt to manipulate him into feeling a certain way. She doesn't create an emotional spectacle to get his attention. Instead, she stands firm in her own convictions, expressing her needs and feelings with sincerity and dignity. A man, especially one who has seen the ups and downs of life, can immediately sense when a woman is trying to create a dramatic situation to evoke a specific response from him. And while men may initially react to drama out of confusion, frustration, or an instinct to diffuse it, they'll quickly recognize that it erodes trust. Drama adds unnecessary complexity to a relationship, and over time it makes things harder. But truth spoken simply and clearly clears the air. It makes it easier for both partners to understand one another and move forward with mutual respect. One of the most impactful aspects of speaking the truth without drama is the sense of emotional responsibility it conveys. When a woman speaks truthfully about her feelings, desires, or frustrations, she is not relying on him to read between the lines or figure her out. She takes responsibility for her emotions and communicates them directly. This removes the guesswork and potential misunderstandings that can arise when emotions are left unspoken or when passive-aggressive behavior enters the conversation. A man appreciates this kind of honesty as it signals emotional maturity and the ability to handle difficult conversations with grace. He doesn't want to be put in the position where he feels he must walk on eggshells, guessing what she needs or wondering whether her emotions are a result of something he did or something entirely unrelated. When a woman speaks her truth without creating unnecessary emotional drama, she invites him into a space where they can both be honest and transparent with each other. He knows exactly where she stands, and in turn, he can speak his own truth without fear of judgment or misunderstanding. This creates a powerful sense of trust between them, which is the foundation for any. Moreover, speaking truth without drama doesn't mean suppressing or denying your emotions. It means acknowledging them and expressing them in a way that doesn't rely on manipulation or excessive emotionality to get the point across. For example, instead of raising your voice or resorting to accusations, when you're hurt, you can calmly express, "I feel hurt when you don't make time for me," or "It's difficult for me when we don't communicate clearly." You're stating your feelings as facts without making him the sole reason for your emotional state. This approach is empowering not just for you, but for him as well. It allows both partners to own their feelings and to communicate in a healthy, constructive way. This kind of directness and emotional maturity speaks to a deeper level of attraction. A man wants to know that the woman in his life can handle herself emotionally and can communicate without unnecessary drama. He wants to know that when problems arise, they will be addressed thoughtfully and with respect, not with outbursts or emotional storms. This doesn't mean you should suppress your emotions. Far from it. A healthy relationship requires both partners to be open about how they feel, but it also requires the ability to express those emotions with integrity and emotional responsibility. His approach also has the added benefit of preventing misunderstandings, Drama often arises from miscommunication, from things being left unsaid, or from feelings being bottled up until they explode. When you speak the truth without creating unnecessary drama, you create an environment where both partners are able to communicate openly without fear of emotional manipulation or retaliation. This builds a foundation of respect, because when a man knows that he can rely on his partner to be honest with him without the need for theatrics or emotional games, he feels secure in the relationship. Another aspect of speaking truth without drama is its ability to foster problem solving. Relationships are filled with challenges, and they require both partners to work together to navigate them. When communication is grounded in truth and free from drama, it's much easier to address issues head on. A woman who can calmly and clearly express what's wrong or what she needs without resorting to emotional manipulation invites her partner to do the same. This creates a partnership where both individuals can solve problems together, where each person feels heard, respected, and understood. This kind of straightforward communication also reduces anxiety in the relationship. When people don't speak the truth, they often hold onto unspoken thoughts, fears, and frustrations. This creates a layer of tension that can slowly erode the trust between partners. But when the truth is spoken openly and without drama, it creates a clear path forward. Both people know exactly where they stand, and they are able to address issues before they grow into larger problems. This creates a sense of peace in the relationship, a sense that both partners are on the same team working together toward a shared goal. Ultimately, speaking truth without drama is one of the most effective ways to earn and maintain a man's deepest affection and respect. It shows that you are emotionally mature, self-assured, and capable of navigating the complexities of life without resorting to unnecessary emotional manipulation. It fosters an environment of trust where both partners feel safe to express their needs, frustrations, and desires openly. And when both individuals in a relationship communicate with clarity, honesty, and respect, the bond between them strengthens, creating a relationship that is resilient, healthy, and deeply fulfilling. In every relationship, it's easy to get caught up in the grand gestures, the big moments, and the milestones. These are important, of course, and they often define the trajectory of the relationship. But what truly sustains a connection over time, what makes the bond deeper and more meaningful, are the small things, the everyday moments that often go unnoticed but carry immense weight. When a woman takes the time to appreciate the small things, to recognize and acknowledge the little acts of kindness, effort, and love that her partner puts forth, she taps into something profound. This appreciation doesn't just build gratitude. It fosters emotional intimacy and strengthens the foundation of the relationship. It's easy to take the small things for granted. The fact that a man remembers to text you good morning every day, or that he takes out the trash without being asked, or that he offers to help you with a task might seem minor on the surface. But these actions are his way of showing care and thoughtfulness. When you fail to notice or acknowledge these little efforts, it can lead to feelings of being undervalued or overlooked. For a man, especially one who takes pride in the way he cares for his partner, seeing that his small gestures are noticed and appreciated strengthens his bond with you. It reassures him that he is seen, that his contributions matter, and that his effort isn't going unnoticed. When a woman expresses genuine appreciation for the small things, she communicates to her partner that she recognizes his effort and that she values the day-to-day ways in which he shows up for her. It's not about expecting grand gestures or extravagant acts of love. It's about the quiet consistency of thoughtfulness. A simple thank you when he opens the door for you, or a smile when he does something kind without being asked, communicates that you are present, that you're paying attention, and that his efforts are meaningful. This kind of appreciation creates a feedback loop of positive reinforcement. When a man feels appreciated for the little things, he's more likely to continue doing them and even to find new ways to show you that he cares. This doesn't mean you should only show gratitude when he does something specifically for you. It's about recognizing the ways in which his presence in your life enriches it. When a woman shows appreciation for her partner's character, his humor, his integrity, and the subtle ways in which he enhances the day-to-day aspects of life, she deepens the emotional connection. Men often don't need constant praise or admiration, but they do want to feel like they matter. Acknowledging the small things shows that you appreciate him as a person, not just for what he can do for you, but for who he is and what he brings into the relationship. This appreciation can also extend beyond physical actions. When you acknowledge his efforts to listen when you speak, to offer his perspective, or to support you during difficult times, it validates the emotional investments he's making. Often, the most meaningful aspects of a relationship aren't visible. They're felt in the moments when your partner stands by your side, when he offers quiet support without being asked. These things may not be as noticeable as the big romantic gestures, but they are often what keeps a relationship strong over time. By recognizing these moments, you allow him to feel valued not just for what he does, but for who he is as a partner. Moreover, appreciation for the small things is not just about acknowledging his actions. It's about creating an environment of gratitude in the relationship. When a woman consistently shows appreciation for the little things, it creates a positive dynamic where both partners are more likely to focus on the things they love and admire about each other, rather than the things that annoy or frustrate them. In relationships, it's easy to become focused on the issues, the things that aren't working, or the ways in which each partner might fall short. But by consistently appreciating the small gestures, you shift the focus toward the positive, creating a culture of gratitude that enhances the this and practice of appreciating the small things also fosters emotional safety. A man who feels that his efforts are consistently appreciated, even in the smallest of ways, begins to feel secure in the relationship. He knows that his contributions, however subtle, are seen and acknowledged, and this makes him feel more invested in nurturing the bond. When appreciation becomes a natural part of the relationship, it reinforces the emotional security that both. Another key aspect of appreciating the small things is the emotional balance it creates. In relationships, there will inevitably be moments of tension or conflict, times when both partners feel misunderstood or frustrated. During these moments, it's easy to become fixated on what's not working, on the problems at hand. However, by consistently appreciating the small things, a woman provides a counterbalance to the challenges. She reminds her partner and herself that the relationship is made up of more than just the difficult moments. There is joy, laughter, effort, care, and a multitude of little things that make the bond special. This balance helps to keep the relationship grounded, even when things get. In a relationship, the big moments, like anniversaries, birthdays, and vacations, are certainly important, but they only make up a small fraction of your time together. It's the day-to-day interactions that shape the depth of the connection. When you appreciate these moments, invite more positivity, connection, and growth into the relationship. Small gestures, such as a shared laugh over a cup of coffee, or the quiet moment of support after a difficult day, may seem insignificant in isolation, but they build up over time, creating a rich tapestry of memories that contribute to the overall strength of the relationship. When a woman appreciates the small things, she also teaches her partner how to appreciate her in return. Appreciation is a powerful language that fosters goodwill and deepens intimacy. When you make it a practice to thank him for the little things, whether it's his attentiveness, his humor, his thoughtfulness, or simply the way he makes you feel seen, he is likely to start doing the same. The cycle of appreciation strengthens the emotional bond between you both. In a world where people are often focused on the big, flashy moments of life, on what's new, on what's exciting, on what's Instagram worthy. The small things can easily be overlooked, but it is in these quiet, often unnoticed moments that the heart of a relationship beats. When you take the time to appreciate these small things, you reinforce the idea that love is in the details, that it's in the way two people show up for each other day after day. And this is what ultimately creates a relationship that stands the test of time. One built not on grand declarations, but on the small, consistent acts of love, care, and appreciation that accumulate over time. By truly valuing the small things, you create a space where both partners feel secure, valued, and deeply connected. It's in the simple acknowledgement of one another's efforts that love grows. And it's in these quiet moments that you create a deep, lasting foundation for a fulfilling relationship. As we conclude, it's important to remember that the essence of a fulfilling, lasting relationship isn't about perfection or constantly trying to meet someone's expectations. Instead, it's about the deep connection that is nurtured through mutual respect, appreciation, and a commitment to personal growth. The points we've discussed: words that inspire, radiating calm strength, respecting each other's individuality, speaking truth without drama, appreciating the small things, and keeping your own fire alive, are all ways to build a relationship that thrives on authenticity, love, and emotional maturity. Each of these elements plays a crucial role in creating a partnership where both individuals feel valued, seen, and supported. Relationships are not static. They evolve. And the ability to adapt, to continue showing up as your best self, while honoring your partner's needs and individuality, is what sustains a healthy and fulfilling relationship over time. So as you move forward in your journey, remember that it's the consistent, small efforts, each act of love, respect, and appreciation, that build the foundation for a relationship that lasts. When both partners are committed to keeping their own fire alive while nurturing the bond they share, they create something truly special. A relationship that grows, strengthens, and continues to inspire. By embodying these principles, you're not only improving your relationship, but also elevating yourself as an individual. When both people in a relationship continue to evolve, grow, and remain true to who they are, the partnership becomes a powerful force. One that can weather challenges, celebrate victories, and thrive through life's many seasons. Keep the fire of your passion and purpose alive and watch how it transforms not just your relationship, but your entire life.